Welcome back to my channel. I'm Chanel with Save Sell Chanel. If you're new to my channel, this channel is dedicated to the different ways I save and sell one day at a time. So let's get into it. In today's video, it is part two of Coffee and Sip Coffee Edition Week 1. This is really focused on the hosts who are hosting these Posh and Sip Coffee Editions. And if you want to know what my experience was like co-hosting Posh and Sip Coffee Edition Week 1, definitely check out my first video. I'll go ahead and put a link at the very top somewhere here. So I want to share with you what I have done here in San Antonio, Texas. I have hosted multiple Posh and Sip milestone programs, as well as participated in the Posh and Sip Coffee Edition pilot program. Now, if you have no idea what the difference is, please pause this video and go to my Posh and Sip versus Posh and Sip Coffee Edition to learn about what the difference is between the two events. If you're at this point of the video, I hope you went ahead and watched that Posh and Sip versus Posh and Sip Coffee Edition pilot program. Now that you have that information as your basis, now you'll know that pretty much for this Posh and Sip Coffee Edition, you are very limited in terms of the decor and in terms of physical things that you can share with your potential attendees at your Posh and Sip Coffee Edition. Now, for those of you who have attempted to participate in the Posh and Sip Coffee Edition, and the reason why I'm even making this video is because I've seen so many disappointed and negative things on the Slack app, which is the app that we are using to help communicate with the Poshmark corporate people. And unfortunately, there hasn't been very much guidance in terms of hosting the event for people who are hosting a Posh and Sip for the very first time. They've never hosted one of the milestone ones. They've never gone out of their comfort zone and even attempted to do a meetup with people in their community. So for those people where it's brand new and you are maybe an introvert, you're afraid to do public speaking, this is already a scary thing for you and it's added stress. Now, what's also very difficult is that if you keep in mind, the vast majority of us may be doing this part-time and we have 40 to 60 or even 80-hour-a-week jobs, but we really want to be more social and we want to go and host these events to hopefully gain more exposure, meet like-minded people, and really take advantage of what's going on in the real world. What I'm going to share with you in this video today is some of the ways that I have personally gone and used budget-friendly ways to promote my own Posh and Sip events. I've hosted two of the milestone programs, a Poshmark meetup, and I've also done the Posh and Sip Coffee Edition as well. Now, for those of you who are brand new to even hosting a Posh and Sip event and don't know how to approach it, let me tell you, there are going to be 4 different ways that you can attempt to market your event for free. Now, the one that Poshmark wanted you to do, which is the Facebook event, is completely fine, but the problem is that a vast majority of people, especially for security reasons, stopped using Facebook. Now, if you're not using Facebook, well, how are people going to know about your event? And it's very difficult, right? But use Facebook anyway. You can also use Facebook if you have it and you use it for your family. I know a lot of people don't want to do that because they don't want to mix business with personal things, but if you phrase it in such a way that's positive, such as I'm excited to get out of my comfort zone, talk more about something I'm passionate about, please meet me at Starbucks, and then put the location and meet me at the location here. It's a 4-part series from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. I'd really love to meet fellow people, spend time with you, and at least tell you more about what I'm doing. And it's also a really great way to use your referral code to potentially get more people to go to your event or even to use the app. And always make sure you're using your Facebook link in your description. Now, a lot of you are not going to use Facebook. Maybe you're going to use Eventbrite because you don't want to use Facebook, but you still want to get some exposure. You can always use Eventbrite. I personally use Eventbrite to help me in terms of gaining more people to go to my events because it's searchable. It goes on Google. People are searching for events to do locally, and you can always make it a free event because this Posh and Sip Coffee Edition should be a free event. No one should be charging for it. And personally, I prefer Eventbrite, but we are going to go with Poshmark's approach, which is to use Facebook. Now, if you've shared that event with other people, make sure you're also stating to share with people who potentially see that listing, to share it with their friends and family as well. If you want to take it a step further in Facebook, you can definitely take the initiative. If you're already hosting this event and there is not a Poshmark community on Facebook in your area, I would recommend taking the initiative and creating a Facebook group to help you out. Because of how Facebook works, they're starting to really build community, and there are events that someone may like based on some of the information that they're looking through in their personal Facebook. So definitely take the initiative. Even if no one is liking your page or even joining, at least you have that there. You have have created that Facebook group. And not only that, what if people are moving into your town, into your city, and want to find people who are already on the Poshmark app? Probably one of the ways they're gonna find it is through Facebook. Now, let's say you don't want to do Facebook at all, but you do have Instagram. Instagram is really my way of promoting a vast majority of my San Antonio Poshmark Posh N Sip events. I will go ahead and use the feed to actually create a countdown, to create interest, and I'll also go and use different hashtags. Of course, I'll use the Poshmark community, but you need to start being very strategic in figuring out the hashtags that are within your own city. Now, don't forget to also add the location of the Starbucks that you're going to do your meetups. It will also help within the algorithm in Instagram to help gain more awareness for people who may be looking for events to do in their city. Don't forget to also use your Instagram stories to your advantage. Another thing that I like to do is to use my link within Facebook. Now, I use Linktree to have all of the links that I need, whether it's to my Poshmark closet, whether it's to all of the Facebook links that I need, whether it's to my YouTube or my podcast. I use Linktree. It is completely free and I really maximize that website space. But if you don't want to do that, that's perfectly fine. What you can do is change that link every single week so that people are familiar with the Facebook meetup and then they can add it to their plans. Now, keep in mind, you're going to have to sacrifice. Do you want to prevent the link from linking to Facebook, or do you want that space to link to your Poshmark closet? You're really going to have to decide if you choose not to use a link tree. Personally, I would probably do a link to Facebook in Instagram, but in your body of all of your posts, you can always state what your Poshmark closet is. Keep in mind, whenever you're doing a Posh N Sip coffee edition, make sure you say new to Poshmark, use code whatever your Poshmark closet name is, and get a credit towards $10 off your first purchase. So always make sure you are marketing your own closet. It helps give you exposure, and make sure you're talking about your specific area. Now, let's say for instance, you don't even want to use Instagram. Let's say you don't use social media at all, and that's perfectly fine. I've actually had a vast majority of the people who go to my Posh N Sip events don't have social media at all, but they do have the Poshmark app. Don't forget, Poshmark is built on community, and use the Poshmark app to your advantage. One of the ways that I use the Poshmark app to help reach out to fellow Poshmark sellers or even buyers is to put a listing within the body of my Poshmark closet. After I put a listing that has all of the links that is necessary to all of the events, I'll go ahead and filter and run a search based on the location in my city. As you can see here, you can run a search based on your location. What I'll go ahead and do is that Poshmark automatically defaults to trending. I'll go ahead and follow all of those people and share 3 to 5 items within their closets, depending on how many items they may have. And I do this in the hopes that they'll go ahead and follow me back, take a look in my own closet, and they'll notice that the very first listing within my Poshmark closet is the Posh N Sip coffee edition. It helps raise awareness, and I've had someone who's like, oh, I didn't even know about this. This is really exciting because I really need some help, and I've reached out to Poshmark and no one's answering me. As you can see here, it says trending active sellers just joined. Now, what I'll do is I'll definitely go to active sellers because I know these people are already on the app and may need some guidance, especially for people who have multiple listings. I really want to have them be aware of this Posh N Sip event because clearly they're putting the time and effort to sell on the app, but maybe they don't want to be part of the community or haven't had a chance to even go because they're not aware that there's even a community in your area. And then I'll go ahead and attach just join. I'll go ahead and follow all of those people and see if there's a picture. If so, I'll go ahead and reach out, let them know welcome to the app, and to let me know if they have any questions. I have an event that's coming up soon. So those are some of the ways that you can do or reach out and actually take the time to reach out to the people in your area. Now, for me, it depends on whether or not I have the time to do all of that. I'll go ahead and continue that cycle whenever I have a chance. I know a vast majority of you are trying to do all of this while you're doing this part-time. You may have full-time jobs, but I'll go ahead and add other people whenever I have some downtime. I'll spend like 15 minutes doing that because it's just so easy to scroll up and then tap, 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 and then share as much as I can. The other thing that you can do if you have co-hosts is make sure they also have listings within their own Instagram. And then what I'll do is go ahead and start attaching closets or tagging closets within the listings. Say a little comment. Here's an example of one of my co-hosts, Divine Duchess, did to invite some people to the event. So that's one of the ways that you can use the Poshmark app to help build community. It's really easy. You don't even have to add other social media if you don't want to. Use the app that you already have at your disposal. Now, if you don't even have people in your area, make sure you expand your search a little bit. Maybe there are other people in a bigger area or like a surrounding town, somewhere that has more people. It's not so far, but not too close, that maybe it's still within a reasonable driving distance. Reach out to those people, see if they'd be interested in going. And finally, what if you don't want to use any technology to help you market your Posh N Sip event? There's always that tried and true old school way of putting a piece of paper on the Starbucks community page. And I know that a lot of people have been saying that people have been taking down their signs, and that's completely understandable. People may take signs down because they need to make room for their own signs. There are a lot of factors that come into play. So what happens is that, especially I saw on comment Slack, I believe, that someone said that the manager actually personally took it down. One of the ways that I asked was, I went ahead and called ahead of time to speak to a manager, and I asked to see if they were aware of this Poshmark Posh N Sip event, and I let them know I was going to start doing a 4-part series at their location, and just to have them be aware so that they knew approximately how many people would be showing up and what the time would be. And they totally welcomed me. They said, thank you so much for the heads up. This way I can at least schedule it beforehand to make sure I have enough people in the schedule to help take care of that many people, especially during that time. But if you don't have a Starbucks where people really assisting you or welcoming you, then you're going to have to do what you can to help market it within the situation that you're in. If you don't want to put that piece of paper there, that's totally fine. It's all going to be word of mouth. Maybe you need to talk to your friends and family personally, see if they'd be willing to have some coffee with you, chit chat, and catch up with friends. Maybe you want to go and have some coffee and talk about something that you're really passionate about. So we don't have to use everything in terms of using technology. Yes, technology, we can use it to our advantage. It has some major perks, but I know a lot of people don't use technology in their everyday basis, and I'm really here to help you guys show that you can help bridge that divide. I know there is a lot of people who are still confused as this Posh N Sip coffee edition host. What's going on? How to do everything? And I really want you to not feel discouraged, because I know a vast majority of you had the courage enough to even apply. You have not had a chance to go host a Posh N Sip. You went out of your comfort zone. Let's say you're an introvert. You said, you know what, these are the final weeks in this year, in this decade, I'm going to go and take a chance and do something new. So for you to already have the courage to do that, I commend you for doing that. Now, if no one even shows up after you've done every single thing that I've mentioned in this video, I would not turn this into a very discouraging situation. I would say that this is an opportunity for you to really question how you can elevate your closet this holiday season, because I know a lot of people on the Slack app were also mentioning that this is a terrible time to launch this program, and there's a lot of things going on, and I completely understand that everyone has a completely different situation. But personally, I feel like the timing was good, because a lot of people may want to use the Poshmark app right around the holidays, especially if maybe they're trying to get rid of items so they can make some money to spend money on holiday gifts, on Christmas gifts, on Thanksgiving, on travel, but they don't know what this app is, and they need some guidance because it's already stressful around the holidays. And if you're trying to learn an app and you are brand new, it is going to be harder for you, and I don't want people to be more stressed out than they already are. So by having this structured format, it's better for people who are getting ready for the holidays. It started in October, it's right before Thanksgiving, so you still have enough time to take a look in your closet, take a look in your home, what you can sell, what is a good thing that you can list on the Poshmark app. I feel that even if no one shows up, use this as an opportunity to reevaluate the questions that Poshmark brought up in the discussion topics. And some of the questions, these are really good questions, because let's say for instance, last week, I'm not going to give you the answers from our Poshmark San Antonio Posh N Sip event because that's part of the part one. Go back and take a look at that video. But some of the questions as a sample, such as best practices when starting your business, your cover shot is your listing's first impression. Discuss your tips and tricks for taking the best photos. Here are some questions to ask the group. Do you prefer flat lays or OOTDs? Do you use natural lights or filters? What kind of camera do you use? What are some ways you make your cover shots stand out? Everything you put in the listing matters. talk through how you would think creatively about crafting a listing. So there's so many questions that are there that even after I was looking at that, I already knew the answers to, but a vast majority of people don't. And if you've already been on the app for years, there are always ways that you can make your closet stand out. There's always something that you can tweak, whether it's your cover shot, how you photograph things, how you word your descriptions, how you change your titles. There's always something that you can do to make something better. So even if you are taking the time to go to Starbucks and you're by yourself, use that time to share your own closet to see how you can go ahead and retweak some of your items. Maybe you need to change your cover shot. Use that as a time to edit your photos using some apps that I've mentioned in my first video. Use it to your benefit. So I want to hear from you. What was your Posh N Sip Coffee Edition experience like? Week 1. Leave it in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. Everyone's experience is completely different. Now, I also want to mention, if you have any questions that I haven't answered in this video, you are always more than welcome to DM me on Instagram under SaveSellChanel, or reach out to me on my blog on SaveSellChanel.com, or go ahead and leave it in the comment section down below. I'm always trying to answer you as much as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the video here. If you like the video, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of all of my future videos. This is going to be a Posh N Sip Coffee Edition pilot series, so make sure you check back. So until next time, I'll see you in the next video.
Yes,